你好吗？无数 good enough. 台前一小 so that's pretty much all Chinese that I learned for 1 week. Forgive me for that. Well, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm deeply honored to be invited to this fellowship. As a Japanese scholar, I first would like to acknowledge the colonial history of Japanese imperialism. I know it's usually not talked about, but I'd love to do this. I think our past has made hardship and shaken the Taiwanese society. And shamefully, until I was invited to this honorable fellowship, I didn't know enough about this part of the history. I was lucky enough to meet Dr. Long Tai, and read her book, which really made me realize, okay, how much we need to learn as Japanese. So I pledge here to promote this knowledge, hopefully when I go back to Japan. I usually live in the US, so time to time I go back to Japan, so I'm hoping to talk about it. Secondly, I also recognized this is the land of indigenous heritage. The wisdom, dignity, and the rights of the indigenous people has to be recognized and protected if we are going to talk about inclusive peace. And then not to be exclusive. And I think Taiwan has been making an effort for that. So, being here, really to learn about two things. My nation's past, and for the future, to be inclusive. Well, I am an anthropologist, and particularly called maritime anthropology, which is focused on ocean. So when I was invited, I had no problem talking about like Taiwan as much as Japan, because we are all island nations. Ocean plays a huge role in our peace building, especially if we are talking about not just the national security, but the human security, which is a necessary part of our peace. Today, we have environmental security has been talked about at the core of the issue. Taiwan has, and then all entire East Asia, has been suffering for this huge increase of the temperature. Ocean has behaving very strangely. And it is, of course, there is a huge unprecedented pressure will come to this environmental shift. And then unfortunately, and there is a joke among the younger generation in the United States, whenever the summer finishes, they will say, I just experienced the coldest summer of my life. Does that mean anything? Unfortunately, the trend will continue. Even if we stopped and reduced the emission, it is not the immediate solution. Unfortunately, we have to adapt. But in this adaptation, we need to think about the human security. Most of the time, those environmental pressure, as you can see, goes to the people who are vulnerable, marginalized. It's not about their powerless, but it is their ability to fight against it, where the resource, where the right, where the protections, where the support from those people who are actually creating mainstream climate change narrative. When the climate change narrative mainstream comes, what we all talk about is a fear. And what we talk about is we need to make things better. We have to some plan for the future. And it's all true, but it is happening now. First we need to do is a recognition. Recognition of our society being unequal, our society being inequitable. So my study and in my work is pushing social equity in the ocean, which basically means there has been a very unequal world because of the racialization, because of the marginalization, because of the politicization. This, if you call it mental state, but it's more like a political social organization, has to be changed. That's the first step we need to make. So how we can do this? There's 3 things we can do. 1, discredit disruptive narratives, which basically means don't listen to the fearmonger. Listen to the science. Listen to the things which goes to your heart. And be critical all the time. And it is the first things you could do. Second, make a policy and a law to protect everyone. That actually means protect the people who can be ignored. Protect the people who has been marginalized. And fight for the isms. Isms, misogyny, all these things which actually blind our eyesight to go to care about the people is something we have to be very critical. And we always have to be aware. People trying to insert those messages when they monger in your fear. The last one, respect the dignity of the people. We all seek for the data's, numbers and modeling and future predictions scientifically. But in those numbers, there are peoples. In those numbers of the climate change predictions, we need to hear the story. And then those are the story full of the wisdom, full of the care. So, in short, for the peace or peace building, we can do 3 things immediately. We can work together. And I'm going to come back to how to do it later for the particularly Taiwan. But first of all, again, I'd like to thank the foundation, and I'd like to thank my fellows, and I'd like to thank the audience, and I'm looking forward to talking to you today. Thank you.